So Ray took off again today?
I know. I mean, he took off like 8 months ago a day.
Dude, what a slacker.
I know. He's gone all the time.
What do you think he's doing today?
I bet he's looking for Bigfoot.
Yeah. He could be evening out that tan he's got. Have you seen that thing, dude? Takes his shirt off, okay, he's got a white tank top on.
I hope he's at the lake. Oh my gosh. I bet he's measuring his beard.
Oh, he could be doing that too.
Checking if he got an extra half inch over the weekend.
Yeah. Maybe he's practicing his hammer skills.
Yeah.
He could be doing that. He should be doing that.
Yeah, he needs a little work. Hi, and welcome back for episode 11 of Building a House Start to Finish here in the Great Smoky Mountains of Western North Carolina. Since the windows and doors are installed, it's time to start putting up corner boards and window trims so we can side this house. We're going to be using this rough sawn wood as our window and door trim. This is a 12-inch wide board, well, really 11 and a quarter. We will be ripping it down to 3.5 inches for most of the trim, but also different widths for other trim. We get going by setting up our trusty job site table saw. This thing's kind of like a transformer, and then we start ripping boards down to width. To give these ripped boards a more finished look, we're knocking the sharp edge caused by the table saw off with a hand plane. And Jaime says this is one of his favorite and most satisfying things to do in the world. We bought these trim boards thinking that they were a full inch thick, but they weren't. They only measured about 7/8, which was thinner than the overlapping part of our lap siding, which is a problem. So to fix this, we decided to do an 1.25 inch banding around the outside of all of our trims on the house. That would stick out more than the thickest part of our siding. Problem solved. Once the boards were ripped, we put a heavy coat of solid color stain on all four sides, and Jaime uses this dunk technique with a whiz roller to get it on there thick the first shot, and this makes a great base coat. We also pre-paint the end grain of the boards, but we wait until we cut them to length to do it, because if you did it first, you would simply be cutting off the part you already painted and then painting it again later. I like it. Woo! How many are we going for here? All of them. Before we could install any corner boards or siding, we had to install this flashing that goes over top of the stonework. And this isn't something you can buy at the store, so we make it at the shop on our metal brake. This flashing will serve two purposes. One is to keep water from going behind the stonework, which it could without hurting anything due to the rain screening we installed. And secondly, it will sort of black out the little gap between the bottom edge of the siding and the irregular edge of the top of the stonework. Once we have the metal ripped down to the correct width, first Jaime hems the edge and rolls it over so that the edge you see is a nice finished looking edge with the correct color. Next, Jaime measures an 1.25 inch turnout and then breaks the metal so that the flashing will have slightly less than 90 degrees and let the water run down the wall and out over the stonework. This drip cat flashing is installed behind the house wrap, just in case any water got behind the siding on the house wrap, it would come out over this flashing. And we also cut it back a bit so that you see the flashing instead of the house wrap below that bottom row of siding.
Easy.
Wow.
It's fine.
Okay, a little bit of that. Okay, put that guy in there. And now let's do a little dab right there. And then you can see I open this up a little bit, and you can see I back cut that behind 90 degrees so that this little guy could go over top of it like that and press down in like that. That's it.
There you go, bud. SPF 70.
This stuff isn't even real.
So you're telling me you legit do not wear sunscreen or do not believe in sunscreen?
Nope. I mean, we've survived thousands of years without this stuff. Why do we need it now?
I don't know. I get sunburned. You don't get sunburned.
I mean, you get sunburned once, you're good.
Are you sunburned right now?
Nope. Not right now. I already got my sunburn.
Do you wear sunscreen?
I put it on in select areas.
Okay.
I don't really like it, but you know, I got this because I didn't.
Oh, Ray. What's up now?
Man.
Skin cancer is real,
Yeah.
even if sunscreen isn't.
Yeah.
And I got
I'm
one
willing to
of my
take the risk though.
Huh. All right.
But it took a long time. So
It feels so sticky.
Yeah.
So nasty.
it is nasty. Ray,
So-
I'm with you. I hate this stuff.
You believe in it, you just don't like the way it feels.
I mean, I don't even know. I don't know. I mean, what is this stuff? What is it?
I don't know. Read what's in it. I don't know. This is for your face right here. It's like deodorant.
Deodorant.
It's,
Face and body stick.
can we just try a little?
All right, we can try a little. A little.
Have you ever worn sunscreen before?
Maybe when I was a kid.
So like never as an adult.
No.
All right, let's try just a little spot here.
Let's see.
Okay. Start slowly.
Oh, look at it already. Look at it. Oh.
I
man.
hate this stuff. It's like,
Dude, there's something up with this sunscreen. Look how I'm sweating there now.
Let me see your other arm.
It's not right.
Yeah, you're
not right.
you're sweating more. Huh.
Don't use it. I'm telling you. Don't use the sunscreen.
Disclaimer, we don't advise on not using sunscreen. Once some of the trim boards had dried, it was time to start installing some window trim. We used button caps, as you can see here, to match the thickness of the window flange so that the trim lays flat and doesn't tip in at the outside edge. We also spaced the trim off the window with these mini pry bars by about 1/8 an inch, and this gives you a place to put caulking in that will hold really well. If you put caulking only on the surface, it really doesn't hold that well, and it could come off. And there were stickers everywhere on these windows. This one was kind of hard to get out after the fact, but we got it. Next, we started to install that banding that I was talking about earlier for our trim. And for each bottom piece, we had to plane a 5-degree bevel at the part that was sticking out from the other trim so that water would run off instead of back into the house. In case you were wondering, we installed these trim boards using 2.5-inch 15-gauge galvanized trim nails. When installing corner boards, I like to run a nice fat bead of caulk on the edge of the first piece that I install so that the second piece sticks to it and seals really well. Then I come back and touch it up on the surface after the fact. These corner boards are held up off of that flashing by about 1/4 inch so that the end grain does not soak water up if it puddles at all on the flashing. Here I'm starting at one end of the board and aligning this edge that has to be flush and then nailing it off as I go towards the top. Then I'll work my way back down and nail the rest of the board off about every 16 inches. To give the corner boards a proportional look, no matter which way you look at them, we use a 3.5-inch board one way and a 4.5-inch board the other, so that in both directions it looks like 4.5 inches. Another project on the list this week was to fur out these LVL girders to match the width of the 8x8 pressure treated posts that we had them sitting on, and this is strictly for aesthetics, and it does look better. I like to cut the end on my own tube of caulk if I'm doing the caulking. That's what I want it to look like, so that I can do this and make it look really nice the first shot. Caulking is something you have to learn how to do. It's like anything, it takes practice to get good at it. And if you're good, you can do it fast. If you're not practiced up, it may just make a mess.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that beard. It looks even longer on camera. Look on the screen. Look at that.
Oh yeah, totally.
Okay, I want to show you guys something. This is not wood. This is like a hardy panel, which is a fiber cement, and so is that. But it looks like wood. It looks like cedar. That's because I used a deck stain on this stuff after it was already painted to make it look like wood. And since this is my own house, I just thought I can do whatever I want. I gave it a shot, but it looked pretty good. The homeowner on our current job wants to do a similar thing, and I told her we'd be willing to try. All right, so what I'm gonna do is take a sample of the siding from the house we're doing right now. I'm gonna take it down to the Sherwin-Williams paint store, and they're gonna let me try some samples of their semi-transparent stain on that piece of siding to see which one is going to look good and maybe look like that, hopefully, in the end. So we're going to head down there and see if we can get one that looks good. Gotta get this mask on. Let's go ahead and do it one-handed. Bingo. All right, here's our siding. This is a Smart Side shake panel. It's got like a primer coat on it, and so it's kind of a very light tan right now. So I'm hoping with a darker stain, we can brush it on there like an artist. So these are pretty cool, and they're not as expensive as real cedar, and they will actually kind of last just as good. So all right, here's test number one. We got duck back, and this is called Mission Brown. We're gonna slap it on here, see what it looks like. Get a little bit down there. Ooh, that's really brown. Why don't want to? Yeah, it looks good though. I mean, as far as the it's gonna look like wood. Okay, cool. All right, here's our second attempt here. This is chestnut color in a semi-transparent water base, or I don't know what it is actually. Cool. Oil base, semi-transparent oil base. This is what's going on the tongue and groove, so put that down.
Just started today. Laurel Ridge.
All right.
Hey, bud, look at that. Yeah, I was just gonna see if anything else.
I can tell you that's way thinner of a material there. See, it's kind of, and it's covering really easy. I think that other one's better as far as just the thickness of it. Okay, we'll let that dry a minute.
Have a good one, guys. See you, man.
All right, and this is the same as our soffits and fascia. I can use that brush. I don't think it'll matter.
All right.
This is the same color we got on soffits and fascia. Ooh, and that's a solid color. That's you can see why it's called solid color. It looks like paint. Solid color. So that's a no-go, but we just thought we'd give it a shot. All right, now we're gonna try a duckback cedar satin. Ooh, that's crazy right there. Oh, wow. Oh, that's pretty yellow.
Exactly.
I don't think that's not gonna be the winner. Okay. Worth a shot. It looks like pine or something.
Yeah, really.
Sherwin-Williams only hires the finest. No, seriously, thanks for your time.
You're welcome.
So I brought that piece of siding back to the job site so I could look at it in natural light, and the winner is Mission Brown. The first one we tried is the winner. Looks pretty good. There it is. And the last project for today, installing this French door onto the patio. This is an out swing door, which means it swings out. Most doors in this area swing in so that if it snows, you can still open your doors. But in this case, we wanted to save space on the inside, out swing door. A good trick that I like to do is to fasten the door to the framing behind where the gasket goes, and then you just replace the gasket. That way all of the fasteners are hidden. The aluminum threshold on this door did not want to stay tight to the concrete in the middle, so we had to pre-drill under the gasket and then add a Tapcon screw into the concrete to hold it tight. Last, we removed the factory brick mold, and we will replace that with trim that matches the rest of the house later. And that's it for episode 11. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to our channel so you'll get our future videos. And remember to check back for the rest of this series, building this house start to finish.
So I heard Ray wants to take off again on Friday. You gotta have a talk with that kid. 2 days off in a week? That's ridiculous. That's unacceptable.
Weren't you off 3 days last week?
Hey, we're not talking about me, Bub. We're talking about Ray here. Different story.
Mom.